We are at Ristorante Morini, and I am here with Chef Michael White. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for coming.
So today we're going to talk about something that you've been spending a lot of time on, which is how to make your pasta travel well. So for a chef, that's not a usual thing, but for regular people, you know, we're often putting stuff in the fridge, trying to reheat it. You're teaming up with Uber Eats. Tell me a little bit about that.
What we've done is we've done a lot of due diligence when it comes to pasta. Pasta does not travel well.
Right.
There's nothing worse than having pasta on a buffet and spooning it out of the chafing dish, and it's dry and such. So we really did a lot of work at pasta traveling in a closed container, but also the time as well. One often thinks about maybe undercooking the pasta a bit and then putting a little bit more sauce. What you do, when we were doing our R&D, is when you cover that, what you do is you start to steam the pasta and it absorbs all the liquid. So you want to cook the pasta to its correct doneness so that it does not absorb any more. On the flip side, with these agnolotti, for example, that we have here, they just become better. The mushrooms, actually, the vapors and the perfumes of the mushrooms really infuse into the pasta. And then also another one of the things that we're really cognizant of is the fact that long pastas do not travel. You've had your most favorite Cantonese takeout, right? And now they're doing a better job. They're separating, the pan-fried noodles and the sauce, and you bring it home. But years ago they didn't do that. So any kind of seafood pastas that we have are made in-house. All these pastas are made in-house. But what we do is we're using short pastas with them because the long pastas, the weight of the condiment really pushes down, and then the flour in the pasta starts to stick together, and so one is left with kind of lasagna at home.
Right.
Nothing bad about that.
And when you were studying different pastas, were there certain ones you said, like, okay, you mentioned the long ones, like spaghetti doesn't work, but penne does. I mean, how do you sort of approach that?
Well, anything that has a bit of durum wheat in it is very important because of the rigidity of the pasta, the thickness of the extruded pasta. For example, with the creste, it's not a thin pasta, so it is made of durum wheat, almost a sand consistency when it's being extruded. And therefore absorbs a lot of liquid, but will never really go oltre or over cooking. And then this has spicy tomato and a little bit of breadcrumbs.
When people think about reheating pasta, generally, what are the things that you find work and don't work? Because I think oftentimes you can have something great, and it might even taste great cold, but then once you start reheating it, you can mess it up. Definitely.
The reheating pasta in a pan, once you start adding more liquid to the pan and a pasta that's already cooked, you really run the risk of overcooking it. But really the thing that we've done with these pastas is add the addition of different types of flours, as I said, durum wheat, semolina, different percentages of them, in order to compensate.
And then what about sauces? Do you find that when something travels, if you want to have a stronger sauce with it, like the basics don't work as well?
Well, I would definitely say that the amount of liquid, we overcompensate with a little bit more sauce so that when you do arrive at home, you have the ability to either heat it up or it is not, for lack of better words, all stuck together. And we really worked on that part of it because there's nothing worse than having pasta that tastes fantastic but also aesthetically pleasing and not stuck together, and using different types of mushrooms and using mushrooms like this and having it intertwined and not compact also. So the right container, all these little facets make up for a good delivered pasta.
How do you think about storing pasta and sort of making sure that it can reheat or it can travel, for people making a casserole at home to traveling with this? How do people deal with it?
It really comes down to the fact that when you're making pasta, you boil the pasta, you cook it to the desired doneness. But if you're going to make a casserole, you really want to cook the pasta to the correct doneness, but also you want to cool it down in its sauce, for example. So let's say you made a braised tomato sauce and it had polpettini or sausage or mushrooms, whatever the condiment might be. When you combine that sauce before you would put it into your oven, before it goes out to the buffet table, you want to combine the pasta and the sauce that are kind of not at ultimate hot temperature. Because if you combine those two things together, the pasta and the sauce, what's going to happen is it's going to be warm, it's going to start to absorb already, and you're going to start to asciugare or dry out your casserole before you even started. And so if you add those two components, the sauce and or the pasta, when you're making a lasagna for that matter, you want to do it in a way that when it goes into the oven, that it does not absorb all that liquid. And this is one of the tricks to doing pasta. And then also, when you're warming up pasta, you can do plastic first and then tin foil over the top of it, and that really seals it in so that you're not losing that critical moisture as well.
Oh, so you kind of keep everything in
hermetically
with a double
sealed,
layer.
if you will.
Is it better with that than even with like if you have a container with a top?
You know, that would work absolutely fine as well, container with the top. But if you're going to take something from your home and you're going to go to somebody's house, that's a really great way to do it. Plastic, maybe a bit of tape around the outside so it doesn't slosh, and then tin foil, and then you're prepared to go right into the oven at the home that you're going to arrive at, or potluck, as we say in the Midwest where I'm from.
Yeah. Well, Chef Wade, thank you so much for talking through, the mounds and mounds of R&D that you guys did and giving us a little bit of advice. And obviously, if you don't want to try and make it at home, just order it from Uber Eats here at Ristorante Morini. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.